I wish there was a way to rig this. We got a full house today. Say what's up, Facebook. Scoot over so you're like right here. Just pull this right up. Oh, you need. Oh. Kind of close. I hate this stupid phone. I need it. We were doing that already. Okay, oh, we need Donnie's still. Your microphone picture today.
Hi, this is Deborah Magoni, host of All in All on Rochester Free Radio right here in Rochester, New York.
It's not working.
Where am I doing it? Everything being
how's that? Do it right there.
Join me, Deborah Magoni, from All in All every Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. right here on Rochester Free Radio 106.3 FM in Rochester, New York. That's Thursdays from 3:30 to 5 p.m. right here on Rochester Free Radio.
Let me see.
All in all.
Look high.
We got like 4 minutes.
Huh?
Do it again.
I like that though.
Oh, okay.
Like
you like it?
You don't think it looks good?
I think it looks good. You said I don't think so.
Wait, let me see.
I'm thinking we're about to go on.
Yeah, look at me. I just can't smile. They look high.
Rochester 106.3 FM.
It's a good picture.
Not bad.
It's a really good picture.
Thank you. Talk to my agent.
We got you. I can get you hooked up. This is Khan song.
So what are the topics we're talking about after?
Pull it up on your phone.
The billionaire one?
Hope dealers. It goes in order. I think. Oh my. What? Because I can move my microphone. Oh, here we are. Yay. We can both talk in the mic together. If you guys want to follow what we're talking about, you can go to our website, www.hopedealersbtc.com.
Hi, guys.
Wait. Okay.
Are you on the Be the Change? Hope dealers?
Yeah. Hi. There's room for you in there. Follow me. I know. Meh. Oh. 15 seconds. You can change Oh, I got it. I know. What's up, Rochester? Be the Change Radio. Neffy in the house. Karina.
Donnie.
Brian. Adrian. Chris.
We're so excited. So we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to have Adrian share first. Donnie knows Adrian from the Jones House, correct? That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Okay.
CNC.
And he's going to share his story and strength and inspiration with us today.
Well, I know a lot of people usually start off probably saying it's a war story. And I kind of call my story like Road to Riches. And, I grew up, nice little town, deaf mom, good support, really. And, as I got older, just kind of started getting around the wrong people. One day led to me doing drugs. And probably one of the worst things is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But started getting into that and just kind of spiraled out of control. Never been in trouble with the law or anything until recently because of drugs. And, just had to kind of get it right. Now, I ended up having 2 kids in my journey, and best thing that ever happened to me, really.
That's so cool. How old are they?
I got a 5 and a 10-year-old.
Aww.
Yeah, they're both boys. And I wanted girls, but I got boys, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. So, let's put that
They
out.
are listening.
I love you guys. No, but, just been struggling with it. And, I put myself into the Park Ridge thing there. And did that for a little bit, kind of fell off. And then I got into some legal issues. But see, a lot of people look at like the legal issues like, oh man, I got caught, I'm on probation, whatever. Me, I look at it like it was a blessing because I was able to take a negative situation and try to turn it into a positive situation. And I just ended up, going to these classes and, like I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning, I'm still kind of in my beginning stages of everything because people gotta understand, just because you did a bunch of stuff and you did a bunch of, drugs or whatever, and then you get thrown into probation, that like, you can't just turn that off, and you're gonna make mistakes, and you gotta fight through that. And that's what I find myself doing right now, is fighting through it. I have my ups and downs, but I feel like I have a good team around me and good support. And instead of channeling whenever I'm upset or whenever I'm down into a drug, I need to have the willpower and the motivation to push through that and to overcome that to get to where I want to be. And so when I go to my probation officer and things like that, like I'm very honest with her, and I like, even if I use, I'll be like, I'll tell her, and she'll tell me like she's not happy with me or whatnot, and now I feel like it's my time to show her that I could really do this because of how much support she has given me. And so I just kind of just keep plowing through this, and I'm just trying my best. And so now I'm at the Jones house, and here I meet Donnie, which our room is very diverse, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's a very diverse room.
Very, very diverse.
But we all get along, and we all are there for each other, and I'm just trying to do my best. My kid's mom too. I couldn't say enough. You know, she's been very, very supportive of me through the, you know, everything, even though we're not together. But my girlfriend now that I have, I've been with her for 5 years. She's a champ. Man. She's, I mean, the rock. I mean, just.
Is she in recovery? Or?
That's so cool.
Man, if I could give her $1 million, if I had it, I wouldn't even blink an eye. You know what I mean? Just her fight and her willpower, because I always look at it as like, if I was in her shoes, bye. You know
Right.
what I mean? I wouldn't have stood two months. So I owe that lady my life.
That's awesome.
And-
It's great to have a support like that. Like,
Absolutely.
that's unconditional love.
That's exactly what that is. And she tells me that. She actually just sent me the thing on Facebook saying that, like, how our love is so unconditional, and she doesn't need this and this and this and this to be loved. You know, all she needs is this and this and this and this. So, honey, if you're listening, I'm holding you to that.
Oh, how cute.
The best support anyway is from friends and family. And especially when you got a loved one that's supporting you and is there for you no matter what you go through. That is your best support right there.
Absolutely. And so here I am, and you know, I'm at the halfway house, and you know, I had a situation come up not too long ago. About how long was it? About
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, and I ended up relapsing, and you know, I went back in there and
Manned up
on my thing, and had to do what I had to do. Had to sign a contract, and I kind of feel like I'm like a NFL football player when I signed that contract. Like I gotta hold up to that. But for some people in life, like me, like signing something like that, being accountable pushes me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It pushes me, and I wish I would have been like this way earlier when I was on probation, I guess. But I you know, it's the addiction. You can't. I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? And you can't predict how it's going to happen. It just happens the way it happens.
Right.
And I do truly believe it's different for all types of people, you know, depending on, you know, me being I was in self-contained classes. I was always a late bloomer, and I was just that guy, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, I'm 34 now. I'm hoping this is my time, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how older I could get, so
Whatever.
You know, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm not a troublemaker, man. I tend to stay out of trouble, man. I made one bad mistake, and I'm paying for it. And I man up on everything I do. I man up. Like if the judge was to throw me in jail tomorrow, I would probably say to him, "Listen, I don't think it's the best idea, because you're helping me, you know what I mean, by
Right.
these treatment plans and all that. But throwing someone like me, I feel like I'm just gonna talk about me in jail. It was just, you know, I would go in there and get the mind of all the jail prisoners and stuff, and come out and just be back to doing what I'm doing. And that's not what I want for myself.
It's not rehabilitation.
It's
no.
not rehabilitation.
Not here, not in the jail. No, I mean,
It's-
you hear war stories from people coming out that there's more stuff in there.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I just got to do what I got to do, and I'm doing it for my children too, because my kids, they deserve, you know what I mean, their dad. And when I'm around my kids, man, like that's the last thing that comes in my head. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what you got to think
Right.
of.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You got to think of your kids right when you're using or doing anything. Because when I talked to you in that room and you started crying, I'm sorry, you started crying.
I did.
Mr. Sensitive.
I'm very emotional.
And so
I don't hide it.
You're not alone.
Yeah, we were sitting there talking, and he basically, like I said, started crying and just let me know that, you know, he messed up. That you could tell that he was sorry for what he did, and he's just trying to regain and trying to rebuild himself. That's
Absolutely.
it.
And that's it. Like, don't beat yourself up about that.
Right.
Like, take it as a learning lesson. What triggered you? What, you got to figure that out to protect yourself and your recovery. But I think that is huge for you to, be able to accept the accountability of that so quickly and go in there and be like, this is what happened.
Yep.
That's huge.
Can save your life, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean,
And like when I got back and I was in the room, first of all, the night that it happened, I came in and Donnie was the first person. He looked at me and he knew, and I didn't say anything. And he kind of came up and like gave me like a half slap up, like, you all right? I got you, but you got to talk to me. And I'm kind of like, I ain't talking to anybody at this point. And like the next morning, like he was the first person I told, and he's like, I knew that. But this is a funny thing about me and Donnie's relationship. Like we get along so great that it's ridiculous. But so the night that this happened, I'm laying down and I'm in bed that night, and I'm like, the addiction mind is there, the stinking thinking's going on, and I'm like, okay, so who am I gonna have piss for me? You know what I mean? Like, all right, who's the guy that needs the most money here? You know what I mean? And I'm going through the motions, and then I wake up in the morning, and Daddy looks at me, and he's like, you need me to piss for you? I was like, what? He's like, I won't, but you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, and it was crazy because I was actually thinking like that. But, but Donnie, me and him sat down and like he said, yeah, I got really emotional. I'm on my tablet. He starts talking and tablet goes down. I get up on the edge of the bed. I'm like, feet on the ground. I'm staring at him, listening to him because to me, he's got so much knowledge of this whole entire thing. And he's very, very powerful, and he's very, very like serious about recovery, and I am too. But to have that person literally across from you when you sleep at night,
right?
And wake up and that person's there and like is got your back. Like I know this guy's got my back.
Yeah.
I want to say I appreciate you though. But yeah,
kept you from walking right back out and doing it again.
He just kept me in the game, and he was just like, listen. You got to go down there, and you got to tell these guys the truth. You just, I don't want you to dwell on it. He's like, talking about it makes it feel. And here I am, I'm starting to cry. And I'm like, yeah. And then once I said my kids' names, I just lost it. I was hitting the ground damn near. But yeah, so it's just been a struggle, and but I know I got this, and I know that people that love me and the right people that are around me know that they got this. You know how many of my friends, people that I know, say to me, like, we like the clean Adrian. We like that Adrian.
Right.
We don't like the drug addict Adrian.
Right.
And when you're sober and you look back and you think about that, you're like, yeah, I like the clean Adrian.
Good.
Yes,
I feel
you
good.
want to be clean.
Yeah.
I love being clean. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
when I relapse in the past, I'm like, what the? Why did I do this?
Why? That's and I hate the why. And then I gotta explain, and your girlfriend's looking at you like this is the 800th time I've went through this with you, And I just like the clean guy. And one thing about it is when you are clean, like I get high off of life.
Oh, yeah.
The whole
You know what I
point.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Activities, physical activity, things like
Absolutely.
that.
The thing is you start to find out who you really are and what you actually love.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
things you
like
loved
to
in the
do and what
past.
you're passionate about.
And I just found out I'm a really good speaker and a counselor, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
He's joining Rover's morning broadcast.
Yeah. You definitely are, man.
That's awesome.
But
So,
go ahead.
okay. So, how did your girlfriend handle that when you told her?
Oh well.
You almost got ran over.
First of all, she, like I said, she's been with me for 5 years, so she knows. Let me be very clear too. She does not use one bit of anything. Okay.
Right.
And like if anything, she'll have a glass of wine on like a celebration because her daughter just got to 10th grade or something like that.
Right.
But she's not a user. Me and her are night and day. Okay. I am night. Dirty, grimy, all of that. She is day, beautiful. Her eyes is as blue as the sky.
Aww.
So I'll be very clear. But she can know just by looking at me.
Right.
And like, instantly fire.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
and we
mean?
think we're so good at hiding it.
Oh,
And we
man,
freaking suck.
I think I'm the man at that. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, she just, you know, she gets in the car and she just, her eyes are on fire and she's ready to take my head off. So yeah, but I'm gonna be very clear. When I am in a youth stage, she is not supportive of me whatsoever.
Right.
And
But it
that's
should be.
you're right. But that's the time I'm like, hear me out. Let me talk. I need to talk. No, listen. And she's like, no, there's no listening. I'm not talking to this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I get extra mad because she doesn't want to listen. But every time I will say, like, and sometimes even the next day, she's still not feeling me. You know
I
what
can
I mean?
imagine.
It's like, please, baby, let me
Like,
lie and
please,
manipulate
let
a
me
little
just
bit.
talk. And so, but when she does get to talking, you know, she's always puts things in perspective for me.
That's awesome.
And she's like I said, like, I wish I could be her because she always says, like, okay, so, you know, you use when you're upset about something. Do you think about what about me when I'm upset about something? How I have to push through that and still go to work and still got to do this and still got to pay bills and stuff.
And then you're like, oh,
damn.
yeah.
The problems are still there after you use, right? So she's like, I don't have that escape. I still got to do all this
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly.
You're using it as an escape.
As an escape.
To get away from reality, and those problems are still there when you come back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think some of my stuff stems from, you know, when I was younger. Like my mom was great. My mom was deaf, but I growing up like I did, it was kind of tough because of the simple fact, like, okay, I had a deaf mom and I had my hearing world. And I would go to school and the teacher would be like, you know, reading a book and then say, go home and have your parents read it to you. And I'd go home and my mom would be signing it and it would just throw me off. You know, it's like I'm not hearing it like I'm hearing it. And then I was the oldest of my family, so I was constantly wanting to make sure my brother was okay. I was constantly like, if you said, "Oh, you're deaf, mom," it's a fight. You know what I mean? And even if you're 6'5" and I'm getting my butt kicked, I'm trying. You know what I mean?
Sticking up for your mom, man.
Yeah,
You got
and
to.
I just, you know, and a lot of things have happened, you know, during my life where I think I still need to, you know, I still got to figure those things out because I think my root is deeper than just drugs.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
You know, there's mental health involved. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
for sure.
And so I'm this time around with because right now I feel like I have a brand new start. I got a halfway house. I'm about to have a new probation officer. I'm having a new group. Like
got a new
this, I'm
friend.
I'm starting fresh right
You got
now.
a new friend.
Got a new
Good.
friend. Yeah, I know that. And so I just
Counselor.
need to really, really take this chance and do the right thing. And if I don't, God tell me, if I fail, then there needs to be repercussions for what I do.
Oh, there will be
as I'm
repercussions.
saying, as far as legal wise goes.
It's recognize what you did wrong to, that led you to those relapses.
Right.
That's huge. Recognizing those, eliminating them, and then finding a program that works for you.
Right.
It's basically doing the right thing for the right reason. A program
Absolutely.
that allows you to do that will allow you to succeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do it for yourself. Don't do it for nobody else.
Exactly.
And that's what I do at the house, man. I really focus on myself. Now I'm a helping person and I'm a giving person. Like, if you know me, you're going to know that. Like, I try to look out for as many people as I can, but sometimes I kind of just need to sit back and I got to do this for me right now. So I got to kind of be greedy.
Yeah, you can't lose yourself
I
in
can't.
that.
Yeah. And so here we are and road to riches. That's what I call it. So I hear a lot of people say war stories. I understand that. I get that, a war story. But mine, I want it to be, road to riches. I was on the road, now I need some riches.
I like
They're
that.
there, and they're there out there. You got to go get them.
So I got goals. I always worked for people or did other things, and kind of, my buddy, hey, I can get you a job because I didn't have a job because I was too busy trying to do what I was trying to do. And I always kind of did what my friends wanted me to do, I guess. And it's not a bad thing because I learned how to plumb. I learned how to do drywalls. I learned how to do walls, just, good things. And so now I'm kind of doing what I want to do.
You're talking about plumbing, right? Not
Plumbing. Plum. I said plum?
You said plum.
Oh, plumbing. Sorry. So now I'm focused on doing what I want to do, and that's going to be an interpreter.
That's
because I know that I want to help out people. And
Yeah, that's, I mean,
That's a good goal, right
that
there.
is. That really is. I mean, there's not a lot of people out there doing that.
exactly, exactly. There's good money
And
involved.
it's so needed. Like
Absolutely.
it's a
So
great
necessary.
career.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going back to school, did my GED. We're already in the mix of working on that. I already started my, it's called the East House. I don't know if anyone knows about that. Good program. If anyone out there needs to get into that, it's at Monroe Square on Monroe Avenue. Check that place out. They'll help you out.
224.
Is it 224?
I was 224.
224 Monroe Square, Monroe Avenue. They help people, man, and we've already got started. And luckily, the counselor that's working with me actually has done interpreting, so she's taking me to the next level quick.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We hope you come on again.
Hey, I'm here.
And
Stay
We could do a
focused.
recap.
yeah, just
That would be cool.
You
Recap
took
it.
accountability. Like that's huge. Don't beat yourself up.
Right. And, my counselor actually said that the other day when I walked in there. I kind of was like, I just feel so bad for her. He's like, listen, stop. Don't even talk about it.
So I told you.
Move forward. He's like, it's over. It's done. We're moving on to a new day. I want to explain the story, too, that happened to me the other day. So, when you're a user, you kind of have a spot that you go get your utensils at. And I went to one of my spots a couple days ago, and I was really going there just to get a pack of cigarettes. And the guy that was behind the counter when I walked in looked at me, and he's like, oh, my God, you look great. Yeah, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just wondering if you had those cigarettes still. I just want to buy a pack of cigarettes. And he's like, yeah. He's like, looking at me like, you're not going to get what you usually get.
Right. That rose holder.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm not here to get that. I just want the cigarettes. And this guy, had a line of people. He actually stopped the line to come talk, like, yo, I'm so proud of you. Like, keep this up. You look great. I'm glad. He's like, you don't need to be doing this stuff. You know what I mean? And, this guy's an A-rap guy. You know what I mean? And we did kind of build a relationship, not just besides me buying that stuff. The guy was actually a good guy to me, and I was, good to him. He let me actually borrow a couple dollars before, and I actually paid him back. So, and so when I was about to leave, I was like, all right, man. First of all, he went to pull out the bag, and the bag looked like it was gonna have my stuff in it, and I was like, caught me on a quick trigger. I'm like, wait. He's like, no, it's just the cigarettes. I'm like, oh, okay. So he gives me the cigarettes, and I go to walk out, and he's like, stop. And he comes around the counter, and he's like, gives me a hug. He's like, you look so great. Keep it up. He's like, you come in and get that stuff. You don't need that stuff. You better than that. I'm like, thank you, man. And my girlfriend's waiting in the car, right? She knew I was going in to get the cigarettes. So I come out of the car, and I sit in the car, and I start crying, and she's looking over at me like, what is this kid possibly crying about coming out of the corner store? I was
It is so
I was
cool.
like, honey, this guy just gave me the hug, told me how great, it felt so good. It felt so good to get that feeling.
And that's why it hurt you when you relapsed. That's why it hurt you so much that you broke down, and
absolutely.
And that's basically building yourself back up again. That's what you're doing. You're not holding it back in. You're just building yourself up, admitting you're wrong, and moving on.
Yep. Absolutely. And when they were when we did the piss test, an addict would have probably tried to take someone else's piss, right?
Yeah.
I guess. And I just when you talked to me, Donnie, that day, and you were like, just gotta own up to it, that was it. I gotta own up to it, man. The Godfather has spoken. The Godfather speaks.
Don't feed his ego
listen.
too much.
Just go take a pee. Just go pee.
Not to pee this out. So I appreciate it, man. And honestly, I couldn't ask for a better roommate. And you can't always judge a book by its cover, you know what I mean? Because when I first saw Donnie, I was like, oh, I don't want to be in a room with this guy.
Most people say that about him.
You know what I mean? The first thing I thought, I was like,
You need lunch?
I don't want to be in a room with this guy. But then now that I'm in the house, there's no other guy I'd rather be in the room with. You know what I'm saying? And we all got respect for each other. We all look out for each other. We all enjoy each other. Enjoy each other. What's the word I'm looking for? Respect each other's space.
Yeah.
And thank you, man. Thank you for having me on too.
No problem.
Absolutely, anytime.
Thank you.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when
Pay
we
attention to the song.
when we come back, we're gonna be talking about the rally for recovery we attended Tuesday. A big farm billionaire getting arrested, woo woo, and the February numbers are in.
Ooh.
We will check you guys out in a minute. Keep being the change.
Be a change, Rochester.
I'm a February baby. I like it.
Okay. We have 4 minutes. Adrian, Mary Jo says, keep your head up. We had tons of watchers. Shh. Yeah, you did awesome. You're a natural.
Yeah, you did. You spoke
Yeah.
really, you spoke really clean.
Yeah.
She's like doing this behind the thing. I'm like, oh.
It was so nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
Right.
Come on again.
I will. Thank you. Thanks
welcome.
for having me. So where do I see your guys' live thing on?
For my Facebook page,
What's your name?
and also Stephanie Lantalia
Wait, do you have
Forrester.
a piece of paper?
Um,
I'm trying to steal my diamond.
will you switch that over? I didn't do it yet. Oh! How do you do that?
Can I have the,
Hi.
That doesn't feel right. What do you think it could be? It could be like a swollen. It could be.
What else did I need from you? Can you tell me the time?
Oh, look, guys, Brian's here.
Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning at 7 to 8 a.m. It'll be on our website too, probably by tomorrow. And then it's on our page. Be the Shane Hope Taylor. Here he is.
Hi, folks. Thank you for having me.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
right.
Hope to see you again soon. Okay, so do you want to bring this up when we come back?
Of
What's that?
About Trayvon Rowe.
Is that how you say it? Oh, row.
Yeah.
Oh, the
The
kid. They haven't
little
found him
boy
yet?
who's missing. No.
The MS kid?
No. Okay. The purple one? I freaking love this chick. 1 minute and 10 seconds. What?
I don't think so.
Okay. Whatever.
Your turn.
I don't know the words. What? What is he saying?
I don't know. David Well was watching. Say hi to David.
Hi, David.
Oh, he might be watching on my page, so it might not have showed up on there, but it's still out there.
Fix me. 20 seconds.
Hey, David.
And we're back. We're back.
Back of the back of the back.
Holy moly. I'm so glad he came on. What a great.
Oh, he was great.
What is going on? Holy moly. Technical difficulties. Stop. Wait.
You can't find
So wait.
a fighter.
Stop.
But I see it.
Stop. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. Oh my
There we
goodness.
go.
Stephanie's a rookie.
Good going,
Listen,
Steph.
Linda.
Good going, Steph.
I'm so glad he came on. He's just inspiration.
He did a good job.
He did a great job.
He
It
did a
shows
great
someone
job,
with
yeah.
with determination that's still, really going at it and fighting the fight. And it's like he wants it. He wants it bad. He's
That's
trying to
how he
find
look.
that program that's gonna lead him in the right direction. I can tell.
Definitely.
And when I saw him like that, and he sat there and he was crying right in front of me, and just letting me know that he messed up and that he's just trying to fix himself. He's doing the right thing now.
And just
First of all, making
releasing that negativity, because
Yeah.
you hold it in and it
Mm-hmm.
makes you sick.
And that's
Right.
what I told him. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. Because if you dwell on it, because he was dwelling on it the whole morning.
Oh yeah,
Right.
dwelling on the past, we all know does nothing.
Yeah. No, he was just dwelling on that day.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
it.
I think
Right,
it's the
right.
biggest thing was getting honest. That's the spiritual principle and the 1st step is honesty, and that's the most important, I think, to start anywhere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's what the legal system, even drug court and probation, they push honesty. They know people will mess up. Not everyone, but they know some people will mess up, and it's not Judge Elliott or Judge DeMarco. They're going to say, if you're honest with them, yeah, you might have to start over, but you're not going to jail.
Right, right.
And it's like
Well,
he pushes the whole honesty thing
Until you do it 6 times in a row, and then
and then
they
maybe
might sanction you.
Maybe you might get a small sanction or something. But
We actually, so we talked a little bit about that, about people who, were either in jail or in treatment centers, about the help that they needed when we went to Albany on Tuesday. And hopefully, like, they're already trying to implement hospitals being on board with doing detox. And it was just great. I'm so glad we went. What an experience to be down there. I would say there were like 1,200 people.
Wow.
11 to
Yeah.
1,200 people for sure. Yeah.
It was great. It was really great. And
I had the best road dog in the world sitting next to me, though.
yeah, you did. I'm like, I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, who's
I'm like,
that?
what does that mean?
What's he
I don't even know what that means, but
What's a road dog?
Right. So that was awesome. And I think, right after we got back, February's numbers came in, which February was only 28 days, mind you.
Astonishing.
84 overdoses.
84.
and those are underreported by a lot. so-
Absolutely. Definitely. Though, yeah.
those are reported overdoses right there.
Right.
That were,
84 and 16.
16 deaths.
Deceased.
Yeah.
and again, underreported there too. There's
Yeah.
people whose toxicology reports haven't come back yet, or the family chose not to even have an autopsy. They
Very
found
true.
them, and it's unfortunate, but it's very underreported. Those numbers.
But still, I mean,
It's still staggering.
that
Yeah.
amount of that's just insane, And I believe I read a statistic from the 1st of January until like the 8th of March. There's been like 164 overdoses in Monroe County alone. That's just in Monroe County. And
Wow.
we were trying to express that in Albany to the legislators, secretaries, because of course the legislators were a little too busy to speak to us. But yeah, we were just saying, just in our county alone, we got 164 overdoses happening in 90 days or less than 90 days. Actually,
Yeah.
only like 70 days, and we got 24 beds available. I mean, what's the deal here? How are we really helping people? We need some money,
Exactly.
and we need to help people.
And the window of opportunity for an addict who wants help is small. I mean, I've seen people say, I want to go in. I want to detox. I want to be done with this. Get them in there, because 24 hours later, their mind is different.
Yeah.
If they have to, okay, you'll get in next Wednesday. Next Wednesday comes around, there's a
They're not
very
there.
good chance that addict is not going in active addiction.
I'll say
Right.
on average a day. If someone, I know for me, if I was told I had to wait a day for detox, that turned into 2 more months of me using, and then I might make a phone call or two to try to reach out for help,
Yep.
and I'd get told another day or call every day for a month because of the waiting list at SBH, and it'd turn into another 2 or 3 or 4 or a
Yep.
year or whatever,
Then you find money the next day, and
it's a
that
wrap.
thought is out of your head.
And that's I actually talked to a gentleman today that we are in the process of helping out, and that's what he said. He's like, man, you guys are helping me, and I appreciate it. He said, but this window of opportunity, I'm so glad I came in and talked to you guys today, because that window of opportunity for me is so small. He said, I slept outside last night. I'm going to sleep outside again tonight. How do I know I'm not going to end up with a bunch of money tomorrow and be able to follow through with my commitment?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
It's an addict stops when an addict has to stop.
Right.
You know, and then once they're in there, a lot of times, many times, they don't go in there because they want it. You know, they want it. They're kind of forced in there. Their hand is forced. But once they're in there, they got to want it. And
Yeah.
that's
You gotta
when-
push
that's when,
them.
you know, that's when they decide to.
That's what happened to me.
I needed a push. That's what I needed.
I got into detox and I was ready to leave through the 5 days. That little methadone taper they were giving me, that was
Yeah.
not keeping me off sick. And then the first 7 days in inpatient out in Hornell at Loyola, I was still fighting to leave, man. And just people talking to me, you know, them counselors, they were not letting me get on that elevator and go downstairs to walk out that door, you know.
No, that's how they are, though.
Yeah, and the thinking, then after that, I said, you know what, I've never given this an honest shot, I might as well. And
That's the thing, yep.
that's when my thinking began to change. And I think that's what's most important, is a change in perception, really.
Exactly, yep. If you're just looking to detox and get out of there, I mean,
Right.
There's no point.
I totally agree. I just
Different
wanted
strokes for different folks, though. I just want to say that.
right. Absolutely. I mean, we support so many different types of recovery, and just getting into recovery is such a huge step. You need so much support, friendship, love, you know, just someone to talk to. I wanted to bring up, so in the article that we got this information from, the average age 35. The oldest person was 61 years old,
Wow.
and the youngest was 19. And then the gender is 53 males, 31 females.
Yeah.
There were 58 in Rochester, 5 in Greece, and in Henrietta, 3 in Honeyway Falls, Webster, and Penfield.
Honeyway Falls, though, like, that just goes to show right there. Like, that's pretty far from
The reach is-
Rochester. Yeah. the
Right.
reach-
it's nationwide.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no
Definitely.
town
This is
not-
happening
unaffected.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just here that
Other
it's
states.
an epidemic, you know? Even when I was living in Florida, like, I thought it was bad there, you know? Coming back here and coming home, like, it doesn't matter where you go.
It's everywhere.
Right. And so this is cool. Gates to Recovery, which is located in Gates, is also going to have a place in Webster.
Yep.
And that's going to be the second and fourth Tuesday of every month at the Webster Community Center. So that's really cool. And then they're also going to have another one in East Rochester, which I think is the third, I don't want to say this wrong. Yes, the third Tuesday of the month will be in East Rochester.
Yeah, and their
So-
first meeting, can you go?
And they're talking with. They had a meeting with Henrietta. They had a meeting with. They're spreading their wings all over.
They're
So
also-
you're going to see it in every town pretty soon.
It's so cool.
The
And
ability to walk in and get help is going to be huge.
right, and that's what needs to happen.
They also, I just wanted to put out there, I don't know the days. You could contact us and we could potentially get you that information. But they also are doing like family grief groups through Gates to Recovery. They also have Narcan training.
I gotta do that.
They're doing as much as they can, and they're just a grassroots organization
Yes.
like we are.
And it's not just about opioids. You know, if
it's
if
anything.
you're addicted to other drugs, you know, they're there. I mean, it's not just. I mean, that's a big part of obviously
Yeah.
the epidemic, but it's for all addicts or alcoholics. You go in there and get help.
I just want to give them a shout out, man. What they're doing is great.
Definitely.
We appreciate
definitely.
Thank you.
We actually utilized them today.
Yes,
Karina,
we did.
Karina called them, and
Thanks, Dave.
yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
I'm not sure if we're going to make it through all of our topics, but this one I think is huge. Big Pharma billionaire arrested, charged with conspiracy and bribery of doctors. F yeah.
No kidding.
It's about time.
Wow,
Wow,
guys. How'd they figure that out?
Right.
Must have been like a 2-decade investigation, right? To figure
Right.
that one out. We all knew
Well,
it back
let's
in
see.
that.
Well,
It's
you said
never
they were
been
starting a cartel, so
Right. And
that
actually,
builds it up right there.
so one of the things I'm going to bounce back, and just because this kind of links with that, when we were in Albany, they were talking about making it so Big Farm would set aside money. So it would be like a grant.
The surcharges from the lawsuits or something like that. They're trying to
Yes.
they're trying to get that money to be divvied out to organizations such as us and any addiction awareness organizations
That's
or
awesome.
things, resources to go into treatment of opioid addiction or addiction services of any sort. Also funding to get people that are in recovery into the peer recovery advocacy movement, because that is mostly what's working nowadays. There's noticing that the ultimate weapon for an addict is another recovering addict. And
Yes.
a lot of places are getting ready to start employing people and stuff like that are in
Yeah.
recovery themselves.
A lot of people are scared to talk to a regular person
they think they're gonna get
never
judged.
used or
That's-
anything.
that-
Yeah, exactly, being judged. And people, when they start getting judged, that's when they start fading away, because
Yep.
no one wants to get judged.
Them walls go
Everybody
back
wants
up.
to move. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to knock the walls down. You don't want to keep building them, making it higher and higher.
Yeah, so
Right.
we all know Big Pharma started this epidemic a
Exactly.
while ago.
My doctor was a drug
Nah.
dealer.
Yeah.
Now it's like
It's
they
my drug
need
dealer
we
was
need
a
to get money
doctor.
from them to build,
I wasn't
new
trying to
rehab centers.
plagiarize.
To do everything and to fight this epidemic should be funded by these companies, as far as I'm concerned. But
Yeah.
it's a start right there.
Right. Now, this guy, John Kapoor, he's 74 years old, and him and 7 other current and former executives at the pharmaceutical company were all charged. And since they were charged, stock prices fell more than 20% following their arrests, which I think that's great too. Like, it's shedding light on such a dark issue that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Not only do people well, I feel like not only do
Chris
people
says,
not want to
yeah.
talk about it, they don't want to like
Need a lunch?
point. They never wanted to point
Yeah.
the finger, but in all actuality, I personally, my personal belief is that this is where the problem comes from, because in my own personal experience, that this is how it all began for me. You know, I was put on prescription narcotics when I definitely should not have been taking narcotics.
Well, I'll tell you what, my doctor, when I went to go see him this week, he even said that he got goosebumps because he read what he saw in the paper of how good I'm doing and what I'm volunteering for and everything like that. And he didn't even want to put me back on my prescriptions that he took me off of, like my Ritalin, my Tramadol, my Lyrica. He didn't want to do any of that. He said that just fight it and keep doing what you're doing. And, when he said he was very proud of me, and just hearing it from a stranger, but also my primary doctor, and it felt good to hear that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, those are some of the best times in recovery, man, is when people like have seen you struggle, but they may not have been 100% aware. But people like that like in society's eyes are, I guess, on a higher level than us, even though that's not true. We're all human. Say that to you like that. For me, that makes me feel great too.
It's a great form of
Yeah,
external motivation for
I had
sure.
an
yeah.
outpatient.
Oh, yeah.
I had an outpatient counselor tell me the other day, like, I can't wait to cross paths with you in the professional field. And I'm thinking, like, what, me? Like, I'm just a recovering heroin addict. Like,
You're like, are you hiring me right now?
right. How much are we getting paid here?
Let's
Sign me
negotiate.
up. Sign me up.
But yeah, I also saw Purdue Pharmaceutical. They removed their sales staff for OxyContin. They're no longer going to go out there and aggressively sell OxyContin to the doctors. Great job. All the doctors know what OxyContin is.
Right.
They already did it. They already
Right,
sold it.
it's
to 'em.
already done.
They don't have to push it anymore. They're not going to walk in anywhere and be like, "What is OxyContin?"
No one wants those
Everyone knows. So
No one wants OPs.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's what it started with for me, was Purdue, was the 80
course,
milligram
yeah.
OxyContins, and
I think that's everybody.
yep, Purdue, man.
And they
Purdue
knew it,
Pharma.
and they loved it, and they made a lot of money.
I
on it.
can't believe they got away with marketing it as a non-addictive substance. And then I seen a thing on Facebook recently. This kind of ties in with this topic. Is there was a 12-month study that went on, and they were giving people pills, right? And like 50% were opiates, and 50% of the people were on a non-opiate. But they thought, you know what I mean? No one knew what they were actually taking. And like 34% of the people that were on the opiates were saying their pain wasn't getting any better, and 54% of the people that were on the non-opiates were saying that their pain was getting better.
Yes, it
so
said
right there
Tylenol is just as
yeah.
effective as an opiate painkiller. It was on the
It's,
news the other night. Yep.
Placebo effect, I think
Yeah,
that's
I
what
couldn't
they call it.
believe
Yeah, well, I mean, it just said that, because of the way it attacks pain, that actual, NSAIDs and Tylenol and ibuprofen are actually just as, powerful
And
for the pain.
that's what I'm on right now. I'm not even on what they had me on, and I still feel the same with the ibuprofen that I'm taking.
Yeah, so, I mean, unless you're, I don't know, everyone has their own opinion on it. But that study, the numbers kind of spoke for itself.
Right.
Right.
I really just wanted to bring this up because it was off of one of the articles that we found that I found it to be very interesting in regards to taking opioids and having them heighten your pain sensitivity. And in the article, it states that an English physician in 1870 reported on morphine's tendency to encourage the very pain it pretends to relieve. So, in all actuality, it's actually when we're taking opiates. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? When you're taking opiates to relieve your pain, it's actually producing something in your brain that makes you think it's relieving pain, but it's heightening your sensitivity.
It doesn't attack the pain where the pain is. It attacks it in the brain
But
where
it
other ones
feels like
attack
it.
it where it is.
Right, and
feels
then
like it,
it
though.
ends up causing just as much, if not more.
It releases the natural pain blocker that we have stored in our bodies at a crazy amount, and then when the medicine wears off, you no longer have that thing in our body anymore that releases the chemical in our brain to lessen the pain. So it's after the buzz or whatever you want to call it is, if that's even there, is gone, the pain is worse because you don't have the natural chemical in your brain to adhere that pain anymore.
I mean, and this stuff's been around forever. I went to Gettysburg with a girlfriend a while back, and the guy said that half of the Civil War soldiers that came back had morphine addictions.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's serious ones where they're running around, picture them in horse and buggy running around doing it.
Copping on the corner.
Dealers on the corner and the top hat. And but, I mean, it's just so addictive. It grabs you so fast. And, I mean, opioids are insane.
And they've known this for years,
For years upon
obviously,
years.
since the 1800s. And I
It's
don't.
just getting worse because of the fentanyl. That's why it's getting right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
they're
mixing with that
dropping.
fentanyl.
It's dropping people.
Yeah.
Right, and that's another thing they were talking about is the gray death being back in Rochester. And
I used to
chemical
look for
warfare.
it.
yeah.
Sick man.
Chemical
Yeah.
warfare, man. I'm telling you, it's chemical warfare.
Well, it's a modern day plague.
Yeah.
And it's like what do you call it? Population control.
Yeah.
That's so accurate.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
Well, I'm
there's
not
definitely
either,
money,
but-
there's definitely money going. The government's making money off the dope epidemic right now, and it sucks that is the truth. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But past the opiates, past the painkillers, into the heroin. The market, it's a multi-billion-dollar market right now. There's got to be money going back to the government or government
Rehab
officials or
centers or
something.
something.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. And that
As long
gray
as it's
death,
going to
Suboxone.
rehab centers, that's good.
Suboxone, things like that.
the
I mean,
gray
it's-
death, though, I just want to say that almost killed me when I was in the hospital with the infection in my leg. But I used to seek that stuff out because that was like
It's
what
a
I
mixture
thought
of
was the
multiple
best thing
different
going. Yeah.
fentanyl types, and it's. I mean, it will. They
Put
said
you
that
on your
addiction,
butt.
the number of addicts this year might actually go down, and it's not because of recovery.
It's because of
It's
death.
because of death, because they are dying at an insane rate because of this stuff, and. I mean,
Right, and the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't have time to get addicted because they try it once and it's a wrap.
And a lot of addicts, are using the exact same dose every single day, like I said, but they die because just the slightest different, just the slightest difference in bag to bag with fentanyl is death.
Huge, yeah.
Heroin bags, they could differ in size. It wasn't that big of a deal. But when it comes to straight fentanyl, a bag that's tiny bit bigger than the next, and you did 2 yesterday, you do 2 today, and you're dead.
Right.
When I went into detox, I did 2 bags before I went even into detox.
Spiteful.
And when I took the urine screen when I was in the detox, they said it was just straight fentanyl.
Yeah.
That's all it
I
was.
think
I've
that's
been
a
hearing
popular
that,
story.
yeah.
Me too.
I've
Same
been
thing when I
hearing
OD'd.
that all the way. Like everybody, all these new guys we got coming into the halfway house I live, and people I talk to in outreach or whatever, they're everyone is saying that like nothing in Rochester is even heroin
No,
anymore.
there's no heroin
It's
in Rochester.
carfentanil, it's fentanyl, it's
Acetyl fentanyl,
Whatever
it's all
they're
sorts
doing,
Of
that's
That's what they're
crazy
putting in the
stuff.
crack
Right.
too.
Yeah, I seen a thing on Facebook that some dude in some other state, they responded to him, and he was overdosed in his bedroom, and all he had done was smoke some marijuana.
That's the
It
truth,
was
yeah.
caught with fentanyl.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Right,
'cause
and not only
Nothing
that,
is safe.
That won't kill
Nothing
you.
is safe.
Somebody with no opiate tolerance taking fentanyl,
Right.
that's safe. you'll be dead. I mean, just the tiniest grain of fentanyl could kill someone with no tolerance. so.
Exactly.
But like, think about that. What Neff was just saying. So, okay, it's one thing for. I mean, addiction is addiction, period, whatever your drug of choice is. But, you know, you're going out, you're shooting dope, and you're looking at basically dying because it's all fentanyl. But coming from somebody that's going out, you know, they think that it's just casual. They might be casual smokers, smoking a blunt, smoking some weed. And you're going out and you're buying a bag of weed, and it's getting laced with, it's everywhere and it's in everything. It's
With the most
nothing
powerful
safe.
opiate,
Right,
too.
you could get addicted to that without even knowing.
I was just about to say that.
really
Yeah.
like that weed.
Whatever happened to a
Okay,
Woo
wonder
blunt?
why.
Yeah, not laced with a little cocaine or something. Laced with
Right.
the most powerful
Drug.
opioid, you know, out there.
Right.
Just
Right.
cocaine. Somebody has no tolerance. They sniff a line. They're dead. They're dead if there's fentanyl in there.
Well, and then too with the cocaine's being cut with meth. Like, I'm sure we probably talked about this, but I just can't get the picture out of my head. Was this
That
poor
girl, right?
Oh,
just
my God.
jerking? But she could hold a conversation. Like,
But she was like,
it was
see that.
very scary, and
Dude, that was the
it's
first time.
heartbreaking.
That was the first time my heartstrings have really been pulled on when I was out doing outreach with you guys.
yo,
Right.
and you said that to me too. You looked right at me and was like, yo, that right there. I don't
She
know
could
how to
talk and
even
hold a
change it.
conversation and everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
but she was
yeah.
talking
Yeah,
like
but
a
she
mile
was-
a minute.
Right.
Like,
And we had seen her weeks before, and she was in like
Decent
regular
clothes.
clothes, but
I actually
No,
believed
it
her
was
story
just-
of her car
right.
breaking down or whatever, or getting stolen, and she was just stuck out there for the day. And then 2 weeks later, we see her, and she's really
in the
stuck.
same spot. Yeah.
Actually
You
stuck
believed
that
it?
time.
Right.
You believed it? Good job.
It's super sad. All right.
It is
Well,
sad.
that holy crap wraps up our day. Holy moly.
we need more time.
We do.
More time.
More time.
Just
keep
shut the doors
tuning
What do you
in.
think, Rochester? We need more time, Rochester.
I
So
know.
let us know. Let
Yeah.
us know. If we need
Let
more
us
time,
know.
let us know.
Yeah. Let the radio station know.
Yes.
Yeah. We love you, Rochester.
Keep being the change.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Keep moving forward.
See you next week.
Love, love, love.